God knows your needs. He knows your desires.
Yeah.
But you've got to set your mind. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Go ahead and stand with this morning for our faith confession. I am God's special agent.
I am God's special agent.
I live by faith.
I live by faith
And not by fear.
and not by fear.
I trust God
I trust God
to meet all of my needs,
to meet all of my needs,
desires,
desires,
and weaknesses.
and weaknesses.
I am growing
I am growing
in wisdom
in wisdom
daily.
daily.
I love people,
I love people,
all kinds of people,
all kinds of people,
good people,
good people,
bad people,
bad people,
rude people,
rude people,
ungodly people,
ungodly people,
white people,
white people,
black people,
black people,
co-workers,
co-workers,
family members.
family members.
I have the heart of God,
I have the heart of God,
so I love people.
so I love people.
Say, you will not
You will not
deceive,
deceive,
use, or influence my thoughts, my actions, nor my attitude. Because I have the heart of God, and I love people, no matter what they do to me, they say to me, how they treat me, how they respond to me, how they don't respond to me. I love them because you love me. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. Because I really want to love them. Even when it's hard. Amen. Amen. You may be seated.
I just don't understand.
Elijah, who is Jehovah's prophet. Come on, say Jehovah's prophet.
Jehovah's prophet.
He's Jehovah's prophet. And they were doing a battle about who God is the most powerful. Amen. And I hope that you know that your God that you serve, that you're connected with, is the most powerful of them all. Amen. I hope that you believe and know this. And so they were doing a battle, and of course Elijah told Baal's prophet, the 405th of them, he said, call on your God. And they called him, and they get no answer. And he said, call him again. And they called on him again. And then Elijah, he started telling them. Then he said, maybe your God sleep. Call him a little louder, because maybe he's been sleeping and you need to wake him up. And they called him, and of course, he still didn't show up because Jehovah God is the only true and living God, just in case you didn't know. There may be other little gods that people worship that can't get anything to them or can't do anything for them, but they will worship him anyway. And so Ahab set a little altar up there and put sticks on it for it to burn, and then he wanted their God. He said, now tell your God to call down fire. Of course, their God was still asleep. And so then he wanted to introduce them to his God.
That's right.
And so he said, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some water on what you couldn't get the fire to light up no kind of way. He said, I'm going to add some water
Come on now.
to it so you can just see how powerful my God is. And sometimes we wonder why life goes the way it goes in our life. God is just putting some water on you.
All right.
So other folks can see just how powerful he really is.
Amen.
They put some water on it, and then he called down fire from heaven, and it consumed it all. And so now the setting is now Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done. And with all he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel, come on, say, then Jezebel. And I want just, because a lot of us grew up in what a lot of people call holiness churches, and they spent time talking about a Jezebel spirit, and typically they talked about makeup and clothing.
Come on,
Can I give you some correction factor real quick right here. Is that the Jezebel spirit was not what she had on.
Amen.
The Jezebel spirit was what was in her heart. She had a take over, take control spirit. And the Jezebel spirit had a weak husband.
All right.
Come on, say a weak husband.
A weak husband.
I know we was taught that it was because of how she looked, but it wasn't because of how she looked. It was because of what was working in her heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and with how he had slain the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, "So let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time."
All right.
In other words, she said this. Let me tell you something, player. If I don't gonna kill you by this time tomorrow, then may the gods kill me.
All right.
Verse 3. And when he saw that, he arose, talking about Elijah, and went for his life. And came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and left his servant there. Verse 4. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under the juniper tree. And he requested for himself. In other words, he was talking to himself. This was his request, that he might die. And he said, "It is enough now." In other words, what he said, "I done had enough of this.
Yeah. All right.
Oh Lord, take away my life, for I am no better than my fathers." And just for a topic that we'll use today is we need to learn how to deal with discouragement. Amen. Come on, say discouragement. Come on, say discouragement. Any of y'all ever had some discouragement? This will be for all of us. I want you to know that this prophet right here had been connected to God, right? He had seen incredible works of God working, and yet in a moment, he switched from doing incredible things through God to being incredibly discouraged. Am I talking to anybody here today?
Amen.
Every day matters. In our next steps, there will be days that discouragement makes their attempts to overwhelm our existence. Anybody ever had that?
Yeah.
And sometimes I get so discouraged on the inside that I just want to fade away. I just want to get away. But I want you to know that it's not nothing unusual. Elijah had experienced the highs of life, allowing God to order his steps and use him to work miracles.
All right.
However, Elijah became greatly discouraged and went away alone and wished that the Lord would take his life, and had a negative view of himself and his future. I call that discouragement. Come on, say discouragement. Can I tell you this before we go any further? Discouragement is real. And it's real for everybody in this place. If you haven't experienced discouragement yet, hold on to this message right here. Because you're going to need it. Amen. There are going to be times in your life when things not going to go the way you planned, the way you wanted it to. You're going to get discouraged. Move those scriptures on to 2 and 3. I'm sorry, I may have went too far. Right there. You're gonna get a time in your life where you are discouraged. Elijah experienced some highs, and he experienced the highs of life, but he, even in the middle of him working with God, he got discouraged. He became greatly discouraged, and he went away alone. Now, sometimes our victories wake up adversity in our lives.
Right.
Can I tell you that? Is that sometimes you're going to have victory working in your life. There's some things that you're going to do in your life, and what it's going to do is it's coming towards you.
Amen.
Isn't that funny how when I get victories, that's when the enemy shows up with adversity.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
Don't think your victory is going to make everything hoo-hoo and ha-ha.
That's right. That's right.
It's something about victories that causes adversities to show up in our life. And I'll tell you, it's going to happen to you. Ask David, after killing Goliath for Saul. Come on, say for Saul. After David killed Goliath for Saul, everybody gave him a parade. Everybody was saying, yay, David. He killed 10,000. Yay, everybody was giving holler. And then Saul immediately flipped the switch and started to try to kill him.
All right.
Your victories
That's right.
will wake up adversity.
Amen.
It's going to wake them up. You might have a victory parade today, but your adversaries will show up. Your friendliness may provoke fakeness. Ask Samson. Had a friendly relationship with Delilah. He was friends with her. And all of a sudden he realized that her friendliness toward him was fake.
All right.
What I'm warning you about today is that there are going to be some things happening in your life, so be ready for it to happen, but don't be overwhelmed by discouragement.
All right.
That's right.
Amen.
Discouragement will come your way. And so we want to talk about a few things about getting over discouragement, a few things to be aware of in discouragement in this story in 2 Kings chapter 19 verses 1 through 4. And this is number one. Come on, say number one.
Number one.
Don't let other people's opinions be your focus.
All right.
If you're taking notes, let me say that to you again. Don't let other people's opinions
Amen.
be your focus.
Not important. That's it.
In verse 2, look at verse 2. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me more also if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. Don't let what other people say direct your path. There will be people all of your life that's going to say some stuff about you. I'm talking about even when you don't know it. Even when you're the hero, you somebody else's zero. Everybody don't like you. But don't be discouraged. Because you're a winner, you got to have some haters. Don't be discouraged. Don't let other people's opinions of you be your focus. So many people get so discouraged about what folks saying about them, what people's opinions are about them. Let me tell you something. You got to start with first things first.
All right.
Come on, tell your neighbor first things first. It must be God's opinion of you.
That's it.
And when they show up with you now, let's be honest, when folks start talking about you, discouragement may try to show up in you. But you got to do this, what Psalms 46 verse 1 says. Psalms 46 verse 1. And this first part, you got to get this. And it says, God is. Come on, say God is.
God is.
Come on, say it again.
God is.
If you're going to live a victorious life, that discouragement don't run in your life, you got to know right from the beginning that God is. Now, you can fill in the blank whatever you need. God is my encouragement. Come on. God is my provider. God is my help. You got to believe that. You know, when discouragement show up, the first thing you got to believe that is God is. Come on, say God is.
God
is.
And then the psalmist began to write, God is my refuge, which means he's your protector.
Yes.
He places you in places that though the enemy may be around you, they're not going to get you.
Amen. Come on, Pastor.
God is my refuge. somebody say. Not quit being so weak to anything that somebody say to you. Stop it.
Yeah.
The scripture said, God is my strength.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
You ought to if God is, you got to start getting what God is.
All right. Amen.
God is your refuge. He protects you. He covers you. He's your strength. He gives you the ability to overcome anything.
Amen.
Sometimes we can't wonder why we did it with some of the trouble that we got.
Yeah.
You know why you got it? Because you can handle it.
Amen. Amen.
God is your strength. We need to wake up with this prayer. God, you my strength for today.
Yeah. Amen. That's good. Good teaching.
Me and Sister Kemp was talking earlier when we got in here. And she asked me, and I like this because not many people calling me. They're asking me, Pastor, did you read?
I think we did.
Amen. And I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I was up about 6 o'clock. Can I tell you something? Can I give you some God is strength right here? You need to get some God is word in you before you go to work.
Amen.
Help us, Lord. Help us. That's it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Because I know you think that at your job is the only crazy people. They at your job. I know you think that they recruited all the crazy folks that come in your job. But I must inform you that the recruiter was at my job too. And just talking to other folks around me, there's some other folks in here that they know that the recruiter was at their place too. You need, come on, say I need some strength in God's word before I go to work. And I'll tell you, there's some seasons in our lives, watch this, that you need some God's strength early in the morning before anybody else in your house wakes. Sometimes we need strength in our household so that we can handle what goes on. I know y'all just say amen quietly. It's okay. It's okay. But the reality is the reality. There come seasons in everybody's house where everything ain't going hunky-dory. Amen. Hallelujah. Kiss me. Yeah. There comes a season where we need to get up early so that we can be the masters of peace. So we need to get up early and start your day off with so that God can give you the strength that you need. It might not be to deal with at home, but it might be to deal with them folks at work. And right now, if you're going through the city of Birmingham, you may have to run into all kinds of traffic. Come on, say traffic. You need to pray before you leave work so that you are not the one with the road rage. So you're not the one that's telling folks, get out of the way, move. You need God's strength. He said God is our strength. He's our refuge and strength. And then I love this back part. So when you get ready to go to work, you can know that he's he's a very present. See, when you need him, then you'll know that he is not just present, but very present. You know what I mean by very present is that there's sometimes some people tell you when they ain't there, I'm there in spirit. Well, it didn't do me no good. Come on, somebody. I needed you very present. I didn't need you at home when I needed you present. And he said this. He said, no, he didn't say I'm there with you in spirit. No, he said, I'm your very present. You need strength when you wake up in the morning. He's our very present help in trouble. Amen. The Lord's thoughts about your future matters. So take his opinion, not your naysayers. He is your present help when discouragement attack your mind. Amen. See, everybody, do y'all understand that discouragement attacks your mind?
Amen.
Though you may feel it in your heart and in your belly.
All right. Yep.
Amen.
Come on, say, in my mind.
In my mind.
But I felt it in my heart.
But I felt it in my heart.
And so what we try to do sometimes is deal with that instead of deal with that mind. So we can clear up that heart. Amen. The Lord thoughts about your life, your future matters, not what the naysayers say. He is your present help when discouragement attacks your mind. Know that he is present.
That's it.
So number one is don't let others' opinions be your focus. In verse 3, he said this. He saw what she said. Y'all see that? When she started talking, when she started telling him what she was going to do to him, he saw what she said.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all got to get this right.
Yeah.
See, often we let people speak something into us that we begin to see what she said.
Yeah.
You wonder why he got so discouraged after he had been on Mount Carmel, calling fire from heaven by God's authority. Now one lady says, I'm going to kill you, and now he begins to get worried after he had just dealt with 450 prophets.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he began to see what she
Yes.
She began to talk, and he began to see what she was saying. I like that he begins to see what she said. We get discouraged when we allow and accept what the enemy is planting in our mind.
Okay.
Don't see what he say.
That's right.
Resist it.
Amen.
When the enemy starts talking to you, resist it.
All right.
You know how to plant thoughts in your own mind? Your mouth.
Yes.
Come on, say my mouth. Give you an example of Jesus was being led, and he had been fasting, and then when he came out, and then the Bible said that Satan came to him. Now listen at this. Remember, Satan was not a physical being. So he didn't show up on the scene like you and I. He showed up in his mind. And the Bible said he took him to these different places. He took him to a high place. He took him to a high place in his mind. And I said, what do you mean? Because Jesus wouldn't let Satan take him anywhere. He took him. He started speaking to him. He said, let me show you this. Let me show you all this stuff that I can give to you. Like he do to us.
Yeah.
Sometimes he speaks to us in our mind. He said, let me show you what I can do for you if you will just do this. So he started speaking to him in his mind, and Jesus, being human, took word.
Yeah.
He said, Satan, it is written. When you want to keep him from dealing with your mind, controlling your mind, you better start speaking. Satan, it is written. And if you don't know a whole lot of scripture, you better start saying, the Lord is, God is my refuge and my strength. If you don't know that, say the Lord is my shepherd, say I shall not want. If you don't know a whole lot of scriptures, you better start trusting the Lord. I'm going to trust him, say and lean not to my own understanding. You ought to know about 3 scriptures. You ought to have 3.
Yeah.
But you better get a word. Because Satan wants to discourage your mind. And you balance your thinking, you balance your mind by what God says through his word. Amen. Amen. So he began to see what she said. But you got to learn how to resist it. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5. This is how you resist it. Listen like this. You got to cast down imaginations. So cast down what they try to bring the images. You know folks will tell you in your marriage, I wouldn't take that if I was you. And I ain't married to nobody. Or the Jimmy and the Susan that they married to. They putting up with about 18,000 more things that you would have never even imagined to deal with, but yet they gonna tell you some stuff. Cast down imaginations. Cast down images that people say. Cast them down. Casting just simply means throw it. Throw that mess away. Come on, say that. Come on. Come on, say it. Throw that mess away. Come on, say it out your mouth. Come on, say it. Throw that mess away. You got to learn how to throw some mess away. It's a mess. Throw it away. Booyah. And every high thing that exalted itself against the what? See, this is the thing. Don't let people put something in you that God ain't already put in you through his knowledge. Don't let people put that ain't. You know, folks tell you to slap them. I would have slapped. I would have went in there and straightened that out. You know, people at work, they encourage you to go say something that they ain't said. All right. Don't be disposable for everybody. Be God spoken. You seek. I ain't saying you don't go talk to your boss, but I'm saying seek your real boss first. Lord God, how do I handle this? Amen. When should I handle this? If I should handle this.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
See, you got a protocol in your life.
Amen.
Trust in the Lord with all my heart. Lean not to my own. You see how you can get words that keep discouragement from taking over your life?
All right.
You would think your situation at work is so bad, and God will be encouraging you. He was saying, trust me right here. Stop leaning to your own understanding. I get this. Exalt yourself against the knowledge of God and bring it into captivity. What? Every thought. Now that's one of the things. How many of you do have some wondering thoughts sometimes? Come on. Amen. Yeah. You gotta allow God to bring every thought into the captivity. Amen. Because your thoughts will turn into actions. You know I'm telling you the truth. You get to think about something long enough, boy. So you got to bring it into captivity, every thought to what? Obedience. To the obedience of Christ. Listen at this. This is a take-home statement right here. Don't give on other unworthy people power in your thoughts. All right. There's some people that you might can trust to say stuff to you and you receive it. Amen. But don't trust unworthy people. Amen. Giving thoughts to you. Amen. You know who they are. Amen. They prove it. They proven it. You done seen them in action. Yep. Come on, nudge your neighbor and say, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't give other unworthy people power in your thoughts. Because if you do, discouragement will begin to work. Number 2. This one is important, Christians. Believers. Number 2, check this out. Be aware of self-isolation. Come on, I want you to say it so it can get in your spirit. Say, be aware. Be aware of self-isolation. One more time. Be aware of self-isolation. One more time. Be aware of self-isolation. One of the things that Satan does is he likes to get you by yourself. All right. Look at this passage right here. Look at this passage. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, and he came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and left his servant there. Now his servant had been with him all the time, character of his servant. What does a servant do? They help you. He left his servant there. Watch this. There are times when we are getting discouraged by folks, by things that have gone on in our life. Watch this. And we leave folks that God placed in our life to help us.
Amen.
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 Be aware of isolation. The devil like to get you by yourself so he can start talking to you.
Amen.
First, he separated himself from his servant whom he had been with. He knew. See, listen to this. There are proven people that have been in your life. They love you, and you have proof of it. Yet we separate ourselves and allow the enemy to define our mind.
Amen.
See, there are times when God has given us people in our life, and they have been proof. There's proof that they love you.
Amen.
I mean, we talking about there is proof. And then when we go through something, you know, we ain't going to answer the phone. We just go and we sit in the house and we watch all the negative Lifetime movies. We sit there and we'll cry and we get mad. And see, Satan know how to set it up. He'll set it up with that movie is just like your situation. And so now, watch this. You see what they say. So the next time they show up, you got something for them. Beware of self-isolation.